A film opens Friday, The Battle of the Sexes, but it's not a superhero action flick. It's about a 1973 tennis match in Houston's Astrodome, albeit one seen by 50 million American TV viewers. In a milestone in American cultural history, 55-year-old Bobby Riggs played 29-year-old Billie Jean King. The media billed the affair as the Battle of the Sexes, hence the movie's title. The event proved to be a turning point for women's tennis, the women's liberation movement in the sports entertainment industry. Riggs, who was equal parts championship tennis player, carnival barker and high-stakes hustler, had issued a challenge to female tennis players in January 1971. He suggested in a follow-up Sports Illustrated interview that even at his advanced age he could beat either King or Margaret Smith Court, the two best women professionals at that time. "It would be close on grass," he said, "but any other surface I could take them in a one-set match, 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 5. In his book, Court Hustler, Riggs wrote that he confronted King at the US Open later in 1971. "Why don't we play a fun match for $5,000 to add to the fund, on any surface you like?" Riggs asked. Billie Jean chuckled but declined, so Riggs turned to Court. Riggs enlisted a promoter and convinced Court to play a televised match on Mother's Day 1973 in Ramona, Calif. Riggs repeatedly lobbed over the net, rushing a nervous Court and easily beat her 6-2, 6-1 in 57 minutes. Riggs, whose brash talk was mostly hype for the hungry media, brayed to reporters afterward about his next match. "I want King bad. I'll play her on clay, grass, wood, marble or roller skates," he said. "We want to keep this sex thing going. I'm a women's specialist now." Thinking that she had to defend women's tennis, Billie Jean reluctantly agreed to play Riggs, and many tennis fans remember the spectacle in the Astrodome. However, there's a long-standing debate about whether Riggs threw the match to settle a gambling debt. The background: the Open era in tennis that began in 1968 was a rising tide that lifted most of the game's boats, especially tournament prize money for the male pros. But the women's purses notably lagged behind. The outspoken and spirited King championed the cause of equal prize money and TV coverage for women's tournaments. Her zeal reflected the women's liberation movement in the late 1960s and 1970s. Betty Friedan, Bella Abzug and Gloria Steinem were in the news, and the U.S. Congress passed the Equal Rights Amendment to the Constitution and sent it to the states for ratification. Open tennis also included senior men. Riggs was one of the graying stars who quickly gained success. Starting in 1969, the former Wimbledon champ won armloads of trophies in U.S. national senior singles and doubles championships with deft strokes and lobs over net rushers. But the news media paid little attention to the senior men, so Riggs hit on a scheme to play King for money and a big slice of the publicity pie. But when King demurred, Riggs set up the Court match. After Riggs defeated Court, King knew she had to accept Riggs' challenge. She later described her thoughts at the time to writer Selena Roberts. "That's it. I've got to play him." The match promoter Jerry Perenchio had watched the Riggs Court match on TV and saw a chance to make money on a possible Riggs-King match. Perenchio had promoted the huge 1971 Muhammad Ali-Joe Frazier fight and had helped Norman Lear and Bud Yorkin produce hit TV series including All in the Family. Perenchio convinced Riggs and King to agree to a match with a purported $100,000 winner-take-all payout. In reality, each would be guaranteed $75,000 with a $100,000 kicker to the winner. Perenchio auctioned the Battle of the Sexes to the Astrodome for a reported $250,000, and ABC bought the TV rights for $750,000, a sum that dwarfed the rights price then for a Grand Slam tournament. Riggs hit the talk show circuit and spewed hyperbole that the media eagerly reported. "I don't mind being called a male chauvinist pig as long as I'm the #1 male chauvinist pig. The best way to handle women is to keep them barefoot and pregnant." Current and former tennis pros weighed in on the predicted outcome of the match between the lobber and the libber. "Bobby's going to win," Pancho Segura told the media. Tennis legend Jack Kramer agreed. Women players spoke up to the media for King, and her father, Bill Moffitt, told Sports Illustrated, "Sissy Bug will murder this Riggs." Van Natta reports that King and Riggs had become close friends after 1973, and King visited the failing Riggs just before his 1995 death. King reminded the dying man how much the battle of the sexes had helped women both on and off the court.